Hey there, welcome to 21 Days to Petite Success. I'm your host and facilitator, Nicole Sims. I'm so glad you're here with us today. We're on day 10. Today we're talking to Astondia Holmes Draper, who is the CEO of Holmes Draper Consulting Company, a CPA firm that helps small business owners with everything tax and numbers. She helps business owners understand the one important thing, their numbers, how to grow, how to scale, and keep yourself legal and profitable. It's a great conversation. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Well, hey, Astondia, how are you? Good morning.
Hello, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy you're here with us today. I'm so excited about this conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate and I'm humble of the opportunity to speak with you.
Oh, you're so welcome. This is going to be good. It's something that everybody's going to need to understand and hear something great. We're doing this conversation today. So let's get started right with the questions. So I started off, what do you think is one of the biggest, number one secret you have for when it comes to accounting for running a small business? What do you think is a key secret that people need to know?
One thing, I guess, when the secret in regards to accounting in running a business is that most business owners fail to realize the importance of it, the importance of the numbers, knowing the numbers that their story tell, and the numbers, they leave an audit trail. It is so important. And as a business owner, they fail to understand and appreciate that until they're in trouble, until they're needing, until an issue arises in regards to sales tax, if you're in retail, payroll tax, knowing your financials when it comes to getting a loan, and reporting the success of your business, the transactions, the daily things that you actually do in running a business. That's the main thing that I feel that business owners fail to understand, the concept, the story that the numbers tell.
Yes. Why do you think that is? Because that's a very valid point. I think that is a very key, especially in small retail, when it's so easy for the people to just open up a Shopify store or a Wix store like that. They don't know the numbers in the background involved. Why do you think that that's something that's missing a lot of small businesses?
I think that's mainly missing because we're so focused on doing the business. The small business owner, know the ins and out of their business. They know the product that they sell. They know the service that they render. And we're so focused on rendering that service, making that revenue, that we overlook or underestimate the cost, the money that we spend. We underestimate everything that go into it, the time that we're putting into that, and to realizing and knowing that, yes, are we making a profit? No, we're not making a profit. How can we tweak it? The numbers, numbers they're everything. There is just something about the numbers. And they don't understand it. That's the big part about it. And I oftentimes tell business owners, you're doing the work. You're not documenting it. You're not keeping up with it to support your efforts. You got the idea, you know, you got the big vision in your head, but put the numbers behind it to where you can explain your vision in numbers.
That's good. That's really good. So where can they find this information? Because they say they hear you, they're like, hey, I agree with her, but I really don't have the money to hire me out an accountant right now, but I want to be right, I want to be correct. What kind of resources can they use to get the information they need, just so they're compliant and they know what's going on in a good budget way?
Well, first of all, that's one of the things that I've come to realize. I've worked in all types of corporations. I've worked in small corporations. I've worked in large corporations. I've had various positions in those larger corporations. The greatest joy for me is working for that small business owner. Because in a large corporation, you got one person, they do AP. That's all they do is AP. You got the CEO that's making all of the decisions, that's feeding all of this down. You got the mail guy, you got the person sorting the mail, you got everybody that does one particular step. But that small business owner, we have to do it all. You wear many hats, but we can't do it alone.
Right.
You cannot do it alone. So I get the greatest joy out of working with small business owners. And the thing is, with the big corporation, they tell you that one step that you're doing. If you're opening mail, if you're paying an invoice, if you're to get a W-9 from somebody, that's all you're doing every day. But they fail to explain to you the impact of what you're doing, how it fits within the big picture.
Right.
And so I feel that in doing that, that small business owner, you're wearing all of those hats, and you have to remember all of those little details and get the right person on your team. And so, because we can't do it alone. Even accounting, I can't do it alone. The marketing piece, I'm totally lost.
Understood.
Magnet, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's another whole language to me.
Right.
So even I can't do it alone. But in the field of accounting, I would suggest that they need to get someone on their team. And the thing that I pride myself in, I don't just give you the financials and say, here, my big mission is to educate the business owner, because these are your financials.
Right.
You have to understand when they come to you and say, you didn't do your sales tax, or you didn't pay payroll tax, or this person is a independent contractor, they're not an employee. They're not going to educate you. When you go before the loan officer for a loan, he's not going to say, educate you on the P&L and all of that. They're not going to do that. So I think the biggest challenge is small business owners is to realize the importance of that and get someone on your team that can help you with that. And that's one of the missions that one of the things that I just recently did a small business class. And I talked about accounting, tax, and compliance, because so many business owners out there feel, I don't have the money to hire someone. I'm not at the point where I can afford a monthly service fee. And it's hard for me to dummy down. I call it dummy down what I know, because accounting has been my entire background, 30 plus years. And so it's hard for me to dummy down what I know and just do bookkeeping for someone. And so you're getting a lot of knowledge there. And so what I've done, I've started a small business class where I take the business owner from beginning all the way to the end.
Oh, nice.
And teaching them the terminology, teaching them the importance of having a bank account, the ins and out of payroll. I take you from filling out the W-4 all the way through to the W-2. So there are steps and there are responsibilities in that. In recording your daily transactions, every day, the everyday things that you do, that you spend money on, that revenue that you make, all the way through to preparing your tax return for your business. And so that's what I do for the small business owners. That is, that light bulb went off with me. I participated in the Small Business Expo here in the Dallas area. And there was so many that stopped by my booth. And, I'm like, how can I be of service to them? But at the same time, I'm needing as a business owner up level the service that I render. I didn't want to just leave them out there and not be of service because, hey, they can't afford it. No, they need help. So I'll say, well, what if I offer a class? The Lord put that in my spirit, that I could be of service to them and offer that class. So for the small business owner that's out there, I'm here to be of service to you, to them, and to do my best to educate them.
I like that, because to your point, they hire someone who just knows how to do the books or bookkeeping, And oh yeah, I'll do your books for this flat fee, and I'll just do it for you so you're compliant, but they're not learning anything. They're not learning how it works, how the business works, how the numbers work, what these reports mean to your business, what it looks like. They're not learning about how to be a business owner, be more efficient and more compliant. They're just checking on the box.
Yes.
And I like that, because some people might like that. Like, okay, I don't want to deal with it. I really want here's your box, you do that. But a lot of people probably watching right now, well, I want to understand this. I want to understand. I mean, I want to do it necessarily, but I want to understand it. So I know I'm, one, to keep my accountant or whatever honest, and two, so I can learn and be a better business owner. Because the more you know and understand, the better business owner you are. So that's good. That's really good.
Because I held conversation with business owners all the time, and just when you don't know the terminology, a person that's used to know that knows it will catch on it real quick. Because even me, when I talk to someone, I say, do you have employees? Yes, I have employees. Okay, have you filed your 941? No, I give them a 1099. Well, that's not an employee, or I ask them, did they fill out a W-4? No, they fill out, and they don't know the forms.
Right.
So I say, okay, pause. Give me the opportunity to explain the difference to you. Because when you get in front of someone, in front of that loan officer, in front of the sales tax person, they know. And it's not a matter, I've had doctors who same thing, they don't know. And they're very smart.
Right.
So it's like I say, that service, but you don't know that accounting part.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yes. So kind of going on with that, what do you think then, with all what you've seen? I think you might have touched on it, but what is the biggest mistake you think you've seen? So I think it's kind of run hand in hand, but what do you think is the biggest mistake you think you've seen people make when they're running their small business when it comes to their accounting?
The not knowing and not being aware. I think that's part of it. But then not being disciplined too.
That's good.
Because it takes discipline. You can know what you're supposed to do, but it takes discipline in doing so. And when you have payroll, paying the payroll taxes, when you have payroll and you're paying someone, your total payroll expense is not the net amount of their checks.
Okay.
No, if you're paying payroll and you got employees, you have payroll expense, you've withheld taxes from their check.
Right.
And you're responsible for remitting those taxes that you've withheld to the IRS. So your total payroll expense that you need to be concerned about is not the total of, just say for simplicity, it's not $15,000. That's the amount of their checks. Your total payroll may be $18,000 because you've withheld $3,000 for payroll taxes.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's beyond knowing, but it's the being disciplined.
That's good.
That proper mindset.
Yes. No, that's good. I think I like the discipline part of it too. Okay, I know. Okay, like you said, I've gone through one of your classes. I have an understanding, then being disciplined to make sure you understand every single step and you adhere to it every time you're supposed to. Yes. That's good. That's really good.
Because I know you've probably seen businesses where they're booming. They got clients out the door. They're always busy. Customers are always there. And then all of a sudden, you see them shut down. Yep. And you wonder, what happened? It wasn't lack of business. I can guarantee you 80% of the time, it's going to have something to do with taxes, sales tax, payroll tax, compliance somewhere or another. Because regardless of your success, regardless of your volume, that will cause them to come to your door, lock your doors.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. So now let's talk to someone, let's address the people. Okay, I hear you. I've done all this. I've, learned my information. I understand that I'm doing it. Now I want to scale. Now I want to grow. What do you think is one of the common misconceptions a lot of small business has when it comes to accounting and numbers when they want to grow and go to the next level? What do you think they're missing when they try to do that?
I think it's going to have to do with budgeting. It's going to have to do with, it's like forecasting. When you want to scale, what's the cost? We have a vision. We are, as business owners, everything starts with the thought and a vision.
Yep.
So as we have vision for our business, and that's something I'm even going through myself, is having and taking that time to sit down and work on our business, because we're so busy working in our business.
Right.
We have to take the time to work on our business and to think of all the different areas and the facets of that in making that happen. What is that cost? What is that budget? What is going to be involved? And having that space where you can sit down and brainstorm. I call it brain dumping.
Me too, yep.
Where you sit down and you just brain dump. Let your mind just go. But at the same time, put numbers with that. What is the cost? Because as we oftentimes say, nothing, you probably heard, nothing is free. There's a cost to it. There's a sacrifice. There's an investment involved. So what is the cost? What is the investment that is going to be required of me to pull this, to do this?
Right.
So I think that, so when we want to scale, when we want to grow our business, what is the cost of that? And putting some numbers with that vision.
No, that's good. Because I think a lot of times, especially in the small retail space, scaling means just getting more sales. And just okay, they have certain benchmarks, like, okay, I'm 6-figure, I go 50,000. Now I'm doing 6 figures. Now I'm going to do multiple 6 figures. That's all we're thinking about, is getting to that multiple 6-figure mark, and then hopefully $1 million mark eventually. But I'm thinking, okay, what is that going to cost to do that? That means more inventory. To your point, hiring a better team, hiring people, understanding that aspect of it. It's not just your online store blows up and getting more sales. Like, well, you gotta have more inventory to support that. You gotta have more marketing to support that. You gotta have more fees to support that, and you have to get help, like you said. Now I have payroll to support that. I have people to support. Right. So understanding all of that aspect, it doesn't get talked about enough. So I think that's really, really good, because in our space, it's about having, internet taxation, or having, Instagram followers, and having tons of millions of dollars, in the bank, and sales. But we're not talking about what does it take to get there. And to keep that and to manage that. It's not going to be what it is when you're making $5,000 a month. It's good. That's a whole different life, whole different planning and budget, making $10,000 a month.
Yes. It's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level that, and there's costs involved. And what gets me is, we want to do it. We want to get there, but we don't want to pay taxes.
Exactly. There you go.
We want to do it, and we don't want to pay taxes. We don't want the cost. And when I hear people say that too, we want 6-figure. We want 6-figure, sales, whatever. So I asked, we want to make 6 figures. When you're looking at a P&L, what number are you talking about? Are you talking about your gross? It's like you say in retail, the inventory that is going to cost you to get that, are you talking about, is this your gross sales? Is this your bottom line, your net profit that you want to make after all expenses? What are you going to pay yourself? Are you talking about paying yourself 6 figures? So if you're paying yourself 6 figures, that's one of those line items on your P&L.
Yep.
So if you're going to pay yourself 6 figures, that means your gross got to be even higher than that, because you got the cost, and you got you got rent, you got everything involved in there. You got your marketing. What's your marketing budget? You know, so what are the people you paying the people there to help you? So which line item are you referring to when you say you want to make six figures?
And could you, there's probably people on different stages of business. What is a P&L and what are the lines you're talking about? Just to break it down a bit.
Okay, P&L is your profit and loss statement. And some refer to it as P&L, income statement. Those names are used interchangeably. And a lot of times the P&L is just one of three financial statements that's out there, but that's the one we talk about, small business owner hear about the most. So your P&L statement, that's your gross sales. You know, just say someone come in and they buy, I don't know what what someone could be selling, maybe a dress or an entire outfit.
The clothing.
And clothing, and they spend $200. Okay. The cost of that, how much did you pay for that dress that they purchased? What was your cost involved in that? So, and then not only that, and then you got to consider your other costs. You know, most of them are online, your Wi-Fi that's included in that, your cell phone bill that's included in that. You got to include shipping and handling. Where do you store your item? So all of those costs is part of your P&L. So once you take that $200, the cost of the dress, the marketing that you put into it, all of those things, when you subtract that, what is your profit? Have you made $25? Have you made $50? Just what is that? And that number is your net profit or loss after you subtract all of those expenses.
That's beautiful. That's why I wanted you to break that down, because a lot of the mistakes I see is that it is mostly thinking about the sale. Okay, well, I know what I bought it for, but I'm going to price it at this level because I'm trying to stay competitive or low or whatever. But that profit is like this small.
Yes.
And so they're not realizing, okay, yeah, you sold it just $200. Yeah, $200 sale, but it costs you $175 to do all of that. And so you're probably only $25. You're like, wait a minute, why am I not making enough money in the bank? Because you're setting your prices not to consider all the costs. They're just setting the prices. So what I've seen, to your example, that $200 dress might have cost them $100 to buy, right?
Yes.
It's $100 to buy, but that's your point. But my shipping cost me $35. Then my to get it on my line cost me $30 because Shopify $30 a month, and then all that adds up. My profit pool is small. They're not thinking like that.
Right.
That was great. I'm glad you said that. That's what I really wanted you to say, because I really want people to hear that not just about the price, it's about all the things to get to that price. It takes place home. So that's perfect. I love it.
And then please don't forget the sales tax that's involved.
Yes.
And so I'm going to admit, sales tax is not one of my strong points, especially when it comes to online, being, having that online business, because, you're selling it, make 9 times out of 10 in one state, but then your customer is in another state. So you have to make sure that you collect that sales tax, whichever, I don't know if it's based on where it's sold or where it ended up. Like I say, disclaimer, I'm not an expert in that, but make sure that you're charging that sales tax and that you're remitting that sales tax to the proper entity. So that's, again, where that discipline come in at.
That was good. Perfect. That was really, really good. So I know you have, before we end, I know you have a gift of good for our viewers today. So can you a little more about the template you have for them today?
Yes. The template that I have is a P&L template. And it's like a budget to actual. And it's really more than a P&L. It's more of a balance sheet type things too. I talked about earlier, I mentioned about the P&L is one of the 3 big financial statements. You got your balance sheet as well. And then you also have statement of cash flow. And, your balance sheet, that's where your that's where your inventory is going to show, will be on your balance sheet, because those are things you have to sell. And then your cash in your bank account. And at the end of the year, that P&L is closed into the balance sheet. And so, that's another whole lesson.
Yeah.
That's another
take your class.
entire lesson in itself. But the template that I have those, what I call chart of accounts, those account items there. And so it's a budget to actual. And I give that out where you can keep track of the monies you spent, and where you can key those items in, whether you're budgeting for a certain item, certain expense. And I told you about scaling your business, having that vision and putting the numbers there. When that's where you can key in those numbers for those budget items for each line item. And then you could go through, and the actual money that is expended, the monies that you bring in, you can key that in that column. And it's the template that I give to those who may not can afford to, or feel that they can't afford an accountant, but it's a way of you keeping track of your actual and budget expenditures, and that it's a way where you can keep it where you can know your numbers by quarter, and it flows on through to the end of the year. So that's a free item that I have. And when your audience, they can reach out to me via my website, holmesdraper.com, and reach out to me, and I can send them that template.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that information, you guys will be in the same email you're receiving this video in. So all will be, that sounds great. I'll actually get it myself, actually. I'm looking at that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know about the second one. I didn't hear about that myself. So yeah, that's really good stuff. Oh yeah, that's really good. So yeah, you'll have access to that, you guys. In the same email, we got the video. So that's going to be great. I really highly recommend that this is something really key. Everything we're talking about in itself is really important, but this is the basis of your business. Just like we started out with the legal part in the beginning, you have to know your numbers. The legal part, the numbers are things that are the foundation of your business. That it's great to have the great marketing, branding. That's fantastic. And I want you guys to have that. But if you don't have this foundation, then you're not going to be successful. It's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to grow, because the numbers you said, the taxes and everything, that could close you before you even start to jump off. So that's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really great stuff.
Yeah. And that's one of the things where, all of that works together, because I look at it as having a successful business. There's components of it. The business owner, we're the foundation of our business. We set the tone. And I feel that there are 4 important pillars. And those pillars are, one is marketing and sales, even though we know marketing and sales are 2 separate things.
Yes, they are.
They are, that's an important pillar. And then you got your customers who you sell to. And then you got the product or service that you actually selling to them. And then you have the financial piece, your tax piece, and your compliance piece. So if either one of those, even the foundation, if there's a crack in that, it's not strong enough to withhold those pillars, our business, we have a problem.
Right. No, I totally agree. So before we leave, I want to ask you one last question. So if there's one thing from your heart that you want to make sure that they walk away with, they don't get anything else, they get this one thing from you today about how to have the numbers or accounting, anything about accounting with business, what would that one thing be?
It all works together. The numbers tell a story. The numbers tell a story. The numbers are an audit trail. A person can tell, they can figure out the story. That's the analytics of it. Just like, taxes, IRS, they can tell there's a certain way, there's a certain piece that goes together. If one thing is up, something else is expected to be up. If one thing is down, or one thing may be up, one thing may be down. There are certain numbers, how the numbers work together. So the numbers tell the story.
That's good. I like that. The numbers tell the story because instead of just your brand and your marketing, your numbers tell a story about how your business is
Mhm,
and what's going on behind the scenes. But that
mhm.
was great, Astondia. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much. This
Thank
was a
you for
great
having
conversation.
me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I'm going to enjoy this. I have everybody please take notes, watch this video over and over again. Get that freebie that she's giving to you and really understand this important part of your business. Well, I appreciate you being with us today. This was a great conversation. I'll talk to you soon. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Bye-bye.